rides will leave you constantly feeling empty inside. Like you always feel like what you have is never enough. By the way, you will never even consider what you have. What you have is something that you only consider when you're with other people and you're bragging. That is when you're going to be like, I have this, I have that, I have that, da, 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 da. But when you're alone, you're going to be on some, I don't have this, I don't have that. And like all these thoughts are a gateway to a very, very, very deep depression.
She said her favorite color yellow. It looked good on her dress. Tryna be slim, thick, nothing less. But she's falling in and out of love. Her heart was broken. Wonder if your summertime crushes even notice it burns in July. And it felt like a dream, but a dream is the best kind of lie, yeah.
Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'll be talking about why bragging rights are bad for your mental health. So those of you who are like used to my channel and you've been subscribed for a very long time, you already know that I'll be counting now the points from least important to very important. So in other words, it's going to be a countdown from point number 4 to point number 1. So stick around, okay? And by the way, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, honey, you know what to do. Let's get into it. Point number 4. Point number 4, you will be disliked by the people that you care about. Question: why would I be disliked by the people that I care about just because of my bragging rights? Well, first of all, when you enjoy bragging, you will definitely find other people's accomplishments insignificant from yours. In other words, you will end up gaining a narcissistic character, which is not something that everybody likes. So in other words, you're most likely to be the least liked person in your friend group. For instance, let's say you're in a friend group, right? And one of your friends accomplished something and she or he is like, oh, I mean, like, I finally did this and I've always wanted to do it. This is something that I've always wanted to achieve and I've finally achieved it. Now I'm like so happy. As friend is still speaking, you're like, oh yeah. By the way, I did this, I did that. Oh yeah, and I did that. And like that thing that you're talking about is like nothing compared to what I did years ago or what I did yesterday. Like I'm just on a whole other level. I'm just like just like winning. So in other words, that character will definitely make your friend feel very down, you know. And like nobody enjoys spending time with people that depress them. So if you continue with this character, you should know that if you're in a friend group of 5, honey, you are most likely to become the least favorite friend. Let's go to point number 3. Point number 3, you will become extremely extravagant, unnecessarily in particular. So in other words, you're just going to be buying things that you don't even need just because you want to prove a point to your friends, your family members, or the people that you know. For instance, let's say you don't skate, right? Like you don't skate, you know, and you're having friends who are like doing kick flips and like ollies and all that, and you're like, wow, this is so cool. But because like you want to brag, you're like, I'm gonna buy myself a skateboard and I'm gonna buy or import one that is like more expensive than the skateboards that my friends have. So long story short, you're going to buy your skateboard, you're going to import a skateboard maybe all the way from America or somewhere, and then like after importing it, once it arrives, you're like, look at this brand new skateboard that I have, you know what I mean? Like it only costed like a couple of dollars or a couple of rands, you know what I mean? Like ain't nothing but a thing. I mean, like, you know. And then at the end of the day, you can't even move with the skateboard. Like you literally can't even, you know. And you just like bought the skateboard just to brag to your friends that would actually have more value with the skateboard than you, but then you just bought it just to prove a point. Like maybe if you're like that person who's like, I have money and like I don't know what to do with it, so I'm just gonna invest in like bragging and all that. Honey, let me tell you a better place to put your money. So there is a non-profit organization called Siyakunakekela, and it focuses on providing sanitary towels to girls that can't really afford them. Okay, sanitary towels are very essential, especially for the female child. Ooh. You can click on my description and check the link that's there below and use the promo code that's there, and you donate just as little as 25 Rand, which is able to impact little girl's life very significantly. Okay, so let's go. Point number 2, you will become a stalker. Because like you will constantly want to know what is happening in your friends' lives, in your family members' lives, or in other people that are around you, even people that you don't really care about. You just want to know what's happening in their lives, not because you care or because like you're interested. No, you just want to know about their lives just so that you can be able to feel like you're on top. So like maybe you're like, okay, let me check up on friend, you know, and see what's happening in her life. Then you're gonna check up on friend and you're like, oh friend, like how are you, like are you good, is this happening, and da 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 da. When friend is like, oh I'm going through the most, like I'm depressed, I'm going to da 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 da, then you're gonna be like I'm living my best life. What? And you're gonna go to the other friend. When you're seeing friend is living, you know, friend is having things that you wish you had. Friend is going places that you wish you would go. Then you're going to start becoming angry and resentful and ask yourself like, oh, how is she doing this? Or how is he doing this? And I'm not doing it. Like, what is happening? And remember, the life of a stalker is very sad because at the end of the day, you spend most of your life looking at other people's lives, checking to see what is happening in other people's lives instead of focusing on your own. So in other words, you are most likely to miss out all the good things that you have in your life because you are only focused on what you don't have, or you're only focusing on what other people have, which will lead to you getting depressed. Leads me to point number 1. In point number 1, you will definitely become extremely depressed if you continue with these bragging rights, because the bragging rights will leave you constantly feeling empty inside. Like you always feel like what you have is never enough. Like you'll always lack it. You will never even consider what you have. What you have is something that you only consider when you're with other people and you're bragging. That is when you're going to be like, I have this, I have that, I have that, da, 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 da. But when you're alone, you're going to be on some, I don't have this, I don't have that. How is it possible that this person has it, yet I don't? Like, what is happening with me? Like, what is wrong with me? Is my life this? Is my life that? And like all these thoughts are a gateway to a very deep depression. And depression is a very dark place that I do not wish anybody to go to. And it's very easy to get into depression, but getting out is extremely hard. So in conclusion, I would like to motivate you all and to emphasize on the fact that it is important for you to be content with what you have. It is okay to have ambition. It is okay to aspire to reach a certain level in your life, but it is not okay to constantly envy. Okay, there's a difference between envying someone and being inspired by someone. Rather see a friend's success as inspiration than seeing it as something that will lead you into a deep envious state that will push you into depression. So remember, inspiration above envy. So in conclusion, be inspired by people and not envious by people. This is a quote from my Bahrain's business page. Okay honey, so that's it for my video. I hope you will all be able to avoid everything that I've told you in this video. If you maybe saw like, okay, if you notice that you have one of the personality traits that are mentioned in this video, try your best to avoid them. Try your best to fight that urge to do those things, because at the end of the day, as I said, depression is a very dark place that I do not wish any of you to go to. By the way, if you have a friend or family member that's like going through a bragging rights crisis or is addicted to bragging, please share the video with him or her so that she or he can receive the message that you have received today. Let's save lives, and remember, mental health is key. Mental health is everything. This is something that some people undermine, but it's very big. Yes, in conclusion, I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
She said her favorite color yellow. It looked good on her dress. Tryna be slim, thick, nothing less. But she's falling in and out of love. Her heart was broken. Wonder